fight we will. It has been 9 days, 23 hours, 30 minutes, and 5 seconds since the last Q post, and it is 1:04 p.m. on the East Coast. It is June 5th, 2019, and we have a very special Matrixxx Groove Hour. You can hear Shady just stumbling in right now. Shady, welcome to the show, brother.
Matrixxx, I thought I would join you guys over here. How are you today? Anons, everyone worldwide, look at the great awakening happening all around you.
It's amazing, and make sure you share this show. We've got a very, very, very special guest here. It's Paulo Serran. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hello, Shady. Hello, Matrixxx. It's a great pleasure and a great honor to be here in your wonderful show.
Thank you for being here, my friend. I have been a big fan of yours for a long time, since before. I think we were both, just starting out, right? I remember having a couple of conversations back and forth with you. I really respected your mind. I started following you. Praying Medic caught on to you as well. Q caught on to you. And I tell you, you got an amazing mind. The threads that you do are absolutely stunning and very, very well done, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It really, really means a lot to me. Not only about the Q, making sure that he reads me, but also you, Shady, and Praying Medic, and all the good Q writers. It's really an elite kind of team that we have, right? So many great minds working together.
It really is. Lisa May, Praying Medic, yourself, Shady, me, it's an honor. And, there's more. Jordan Sather, amazing Patriot. It is absolutely an honor. And I think every single one of us have been cued one or more times as well, Paul.
Yeah. And it's so sad to see our enemies pretending that when we get cued is because Q is laser pointing at us as being dangerous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, think mirror, they're projecting. And remember that Q post, those that attack you, do they represent you, or is it mental enslavement? So that Q post, I think that was, 3308. I believe, but that, those are the kind of things that we're just, over the target. We're over the target with a lot of this stuff. We are just going to continue, and we're going to continue to speak the word of Q. We're going to continue to focus on our president here in the United States. We need to get him elected for 2020. He will be announcing his run for candidacy in June 18th in Orlando. So he will be announcing that, and there's going to be a huge rally. So stay tuned for information on that.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah, and he's really starting to get some momentum out there. And Matrixxx, I don't know, we're all noticing the haters coming out of the woodwork everywhere, Paul. They're even here, even on the Republican side, because exposing the swamp doesn't just mean Democrats.
Yes, I agree. And also, not only were there many people pretending to be on our side when they were not, also some of the people that actually are on our side, sometimes we have a great big movement. Some of these people in this movement are crazy or not very intelligent. It's normal. We wouldn't expect our movement to be 30 million us astronauts. It's not going to happen. We'll have all sorts of people in the movement. Sometimes people behave very badly, but I know that they are not deep state, or they are not, Bilderberg people, or any of those things, cabal. They're just plain envious, stupid people. There is this kind of people. They mean well, but they can't collaborate because they're just so stupid. And also, that doesn't apply to me as much, but certainly to Matrixxx. They are envious. Matrixxx, you have 150, 200,000 followers. Everyone wants to have that, including me.
Yeah, you're doing well with 38.8. I remember we were, running around 5,000 when we first talked.
Yeah, 5,000 was so much.
Yeah, I was honored, and then obviously we started getting queued as well. Q Patriot Robinson says, I turned 50 this year in July. I think this may be the best birthday ever. Much to celebrate and pray for. Love you, and where we go, when we go all. And also D5 is what United States of Q said in chat too. So we have a lot coming up, and I think that's why the attacks on POTUS, obviously, in the media with the fake news. We've got the attacks on Q from the Daily Beast and the fake news media, and then we've got other controlled assets, in my opinion, that are going crazy right now. And that's the post, that's the last Q post right now. It says, would the fake news media and other controlled assets expend this amount of time and resources attempting to discredit, cast as a conspiracy LARP, this movement if it did not pose a significant threat or danger? You attack those who threaten you the most. Logical thinking, Q. And that post has been up there, for 10 days. 0 hours, 5 minutes. Well, we can get the exact time, but on intheMatrixxx.com/Q post. But very interesting stuff, guys. And I think the closer D class comes, Paul, the more we're all going to be attacked.
Yeah, of course. And it's only fair. When it comes from other patriots, it's sad. But when it comes from the media, I don't get rattled at all, because they should be attacking us, because we are going to destroy them, right?
Absolutely.
We are destroying them.
And we
are
in
the process of destroying. You're very right. So they should be attacking. I don't feel offended. They have to, because what else they're going to do? To die peacefully?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a great way to look at it, Paul. An amazing way to look at it. And that's Paul Serran. It's Paul, PAUL_Serran, SERRAN. And that's who he is on Twitter. Also want to point out, Paul, that you have a pretty nice website too. It's called PP. I'll just go ahead and post it there. And in the chat there, if you guys want to bookmark that, please do. That's All Things Q with Paul Serran. And it says, QAnon is the biggest intel drop in the history of mankind. Paul Serran is one of the main writers in the worldwide conservative revolution. You have more than you know. Boy, Paul, you couldn't have said that better. That was amazing. That's an amazing quote.
I usually say that's my department. My department is department you have more than you know, because every time there's one topic that I want to write about, I go there and I research every single time this word or this theme has been queued, and I go and I read every single thing. So I usually find out that we have more than we know. It's incredible. The richness, the wealth of information of those 3,000 something posts. It's the biggest intel drop in the history of mankind. It's like, it's not an exaggeration, incredibly as it may seem.
Absolutely true there, and that is part of the Great Awakening is for all of us who are doing the stuff like you're doing, in the deep digging and finding all the information and being so interested, right? I mean, more than anything, the thing that irritates people about people that investigate conspiracies is that we're interested in it. They just could care less, and so we've been interested in this stuff for years, and just to have so much that we can dig on has been amazing. And now to be connecting around the world with everyone. I was saying to my wife this morning, I was like, it really doesn't matter where the person who is red-pilled is from. We're all the same. It's like love. We understand. We get it. It makes sense to us, and we want to share it with people because we're interested.
Yes. I've started, I'm sure that's true to you, to both of you. I've started having followers from India, Pakistan, Iranian people from that left Iran. I have quite a few Iranian followers. That's just so crazy. People from cities in India that I can't even pronounce the name. I'm really glad the way things are going.
Well,
but if you would just allow me to say one thing about this site, it's actually a blog. is more than a site. And if you go there in the chapter that says stories, if you go there, you will find some 20 something. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. 20 something stories that I've gathered there, because they were being gathered in the thread reader application. But the problem with the thread reader is that anyone can enroll stuff in my account. So if I write 2 posts in a sequence ranting about something, they unroll. So it becomes too cluttered to find the real long threads. It's become difficult. So we did this blog where we have some 30 stories that we relay there. And it's been quite good, because I know that if it happens that I get suspended or anything, I still have an outlet where they can expel me from.
That's right. And that was a good thread too, the pedophile's tale in 3 acts in regards to that was a great thread. I actually talked about this one on the air with
Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein and the people that they're trying to stop, the testimony getting out and everything. That was a very good, and just so you know, I live in the county above Palm Beach County too, so I'm very close to Blue County, but I do live in a red county. I'm very blessed. Wow.
Lucky
So
guy.
what brought you to Q, Paul? What is the thing that, you're from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Amazing, beautiful place, I am sure. But also has its challenges as well. What brought you, Paul, to Q? What was your aha moment? What was your, hey, I need to get on Twitter and start talking about this? How did you come to Q?
Well, actually, it was mid-November 2017, and I was really lost. I have written one thread where I compared our work in the Q revolution to the Knights of the Round Table when they were searching for the Holy Grail, because that's it. We are in the middle of the earth has become a wasteland, so we are all in the middle of the forest, rather lost, but looking for redemption. That's what I felt like. I'm a writer. I'm a published writer. I work with television, documentaries, and I'm also a musician. I'm not famous in any of those capacities, but I do that. I have been doing that ever since the 90s. So I was really lost. Things were not going well professionally in any capacity. So I was just sort of researching stuff to write. I thought that if I could write a good story, that would be my salvation. So I bumped into our friend Jordan Sather, and I was listening to his stuff. I don't usually listen too much to YouTube content, but he was talking about UFOs and disclosure, etc., etc. So one day he talked about Q. It was he must remember this show because it was the first time that he had a whiteboard behind him that he wrote. Yeah, so it was Jordan Sather that really turned my attention to it. I downloaded the Q book. I don't know if you remember. They had done a PDF with the early.
I remember.
I am because we are on Twitter has that.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I read that and I was instantly hooked. And like 1 week later, I was in Twitter. I opened the Twitter account and I was reading POTUS. And then I started finding out a lot of good writers. I did not expect that. I expected Twitter to be another idiotic thing like Facebook, where people were trying to be cool. And then to my great surprise and my wonderful surprise, I started seeing the best content anywhere today. I know the people I read on Twitter, they are better writers than any journalist in the planet. So right. I think the first guy I hooked up I really started to become addicted to was Rex.
Oh, Emperor Rex, yes.
Emperor Rex, yeah.
And Thomas Victor right after, Draw and Strike. And then I started to find good Q writers too. And then I started following everyone. When it came to like February, I started writing too. In the beginning, I really didn't think that I could, because, you know, I'm from Brazil. English is not my first language. But it turns out that I could.
Yes.
So it began this adventure, right?
And we're so glad you did. Yes.
Yeah, I never would have thought that I would be here talking to the top cats in the scene, and also I would never imagine that people that are saving the world, that are my heroes, they be reading my content. You know, when I just got, you know, I just got all flushed up again just remembering.
I know. It's very humbling, Paul, to know that you're making such an impact. In my story, we started at the same time. I started in December 2017 and didn't really start, you know, posting Q stuff until February because I didn't think I could do it. But look at what happened. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. The information, the future proves pasts. You know, if you know, and you're an intelligent man, and as am I. It's just amazing how this Q movement is becoming and how accurate the Q posts have been.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. You
And
know,
to have connected so many conspiracy people and people who were so, like you said, it's interesting because we were all in this lost moment before Q happened. Like, what is going to happen? This lady is going to win this election, and we are all up the creek.
Yeah, you're right. And also, I ran into an old, what's the name of that comedian? I'm sorry, it's an old George Carlin.
George Carlin. Oh yeah.
I love him. I ran into a routine of his that it was going like, come on, it's not like the good guys are going to get elected and take care of everything. He was like, everyone is crooked, everyone is corrupt. And just, it was 5 days ago, I saw that and I was laughing so hard because the good guys came. It's like a miracle. The good guys came. If I told you in like middle July 2017, and I told you, hey, Matrixxx, hey, Shady, the good guys are going to save the world, you probably laugh at me, like I would.
Yep. I mean, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the information wasn't moving. The information that was out there was bad, and everything here in America was being gutted. I mean, we were standing here, everyone in America standing here watching it being gutted, and now we're seeing it coming back, and we're seeing this move towards inspiration again here, Paul. It's like a fire that's burning here in America now that we can again spread. What they tried to do is convince everybody that there was nothing really that special about America for the last 100 years, and that is really what we're trying to change. And your excitement makes me so just humbled to think about how other people must feel about this movement around the world.
Oh yes, and you know what? It didn't used to be the case, but in the last 3 months, so many Brazilian people getting turned on to Q and coming to follow me, and they are not stupid at all. They know what's going on. I was very well surprised at the numbers and also the quality of the information that people were capable of receiving.
Yeah, Paul, real quick, I want to just take a moment real quick. There's somebody in chat that actually knows Linda F. Collins Smith. She's a former Republican member of the Arkansas State Senate from Pocahontas, Arkansas. She was actually found dead on June 4th, 2019 with gunshot wounds. The article kind of goes in. It's currently being investigated. It seems like there's some weirdness going on with this. Former senator was found dead from gunshot wounds, one shot early Wednesday, Jonesboro homicide investigation. Pocahontas after 2 found dead. Man arrested. Oh, these are top. I'm sorry. Law enforcement sources to news late Tuesday around 7:15. At 7:25, we learned of an information from a neighbor who said Colin Smith was killed by gunshot. At 7:30, our law enforcement source confirmed that it appeared that it was not possible to be a suicide. 7:50 p.m. update. We are told neighbors have been locking their doors and staying inside, possibly at the instruction of law enforcement. Other sources also told federal investigators that are on the way from Little Rock. A statement from Bill Sadler was released to the Jonesboro Sun. Inquired. It read as follows: Special agents with the Arkansas State Police are in Randolph County at the scene of a residence where human remains have been discovered. At this hour, I have no direct or indirect information that might confirm the death of an individual you've identified. That's Bill Sadler. Seems to confirm that the state police are handing off the investigation. At 10 p.m., Ken Yang, once campaigned for Colin Smith, told KATV neighbors heard gunshots at least a day before Colin Smith was found. Her body was found wrapped in a blanket, tarp, or something else based on different sources. 11 p.m., forensic experts plan to travel that evening to investigate the scene. A veteran journalist informed me. So there's the article there. Rest in peace, Linda. Prayers for her. And just wanted to quickly just say that because I noticed that there is one of our
and she was a patriot who has been supportive of this movement. If I'm accurate on that.
Yes, she was on the Patriots soapbox.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, with Conscious Abe, I believe.
Okay.
And let me just see. I had an article about that. I did right here. It is former senator. It's from Right Wing Watch. Former Arkansas state senator calls into QAnon YouTube channel. And there it is right there. And they were talking about, there was a Q post there and stuff like that. So, they were just kind of saying that it was not a good thing. Indie News, she tweeted something about QAnon. Indie News said, hey, come on the show, call in, Patriot Soapbox. And
wow.
She did. And she's part of the Angel Moms as well. So she was all about the border. There's Conscious Abe right there. They said they were following 2 Q people, and, we know one of them. In fact, she's right here in chat. So
she's with us today, yeah.
So prayers for you, your family, and obviously our former Arkansas state senator. Wow. Okay. Whew. So just a moment of silence for that, guys. Thank you, Paul. Sorry about that. I wanted to just make sure we covered that for sure today.
Oh, of course.
So great Patriots out there. Paul, so I want to play this 2 videos. First of all, I want to play the day Q posted my graphic with Paul Saran. And this is his YouTube channel, guys. So make sure you get over there and subscribe. He's only got 940 subscribers. So get over there. Some people are saying just found and followed. I'm going to go ahead and play this video, Paul.
Hi, my friends. This is Paul Saran from Rio de Janeiro. We have today a surprise video, and a very pleasant surprise it is, about the day Q used my graphic. Yes, Q reads me. These happened on the 4th of July. It's a Q drop, reposted by Q, yes, but it's my signature visual post-production. Everyone that knows my work recognizes that. But there's more. This is the original drop from early November. A long drop, many subjects. To make an edit of a thematic portion in a long Q drop requires quite a bit of knowledge, agree? But to slice it perfectly and get the thumbs up by Q is something else, man. This graphic is from one of my least known threads that is actually a how-to guide for writing Q threads. Q knows my obscure stuff, it's unbelievable. And Q chose a graphic that I post-produced and cut in an open publication. This came right before my 50th birthday. So I take this as a birthday gift, and a very well appreciated one. Thank you, Q. Add the number of the Q post and you get 7. That's my number. But hey, drops, they hit 8 chant first, right? So add the number on Q research and you get 7. 7 is my number, Q. Thank you very much. Disclaimer, does that mean they approve of everything I write? Of course not. But the inevitable inference about all this is that Q team reads my work, and they agree I can cut a drop, I can slice a crumb, some sort of sashimi artist. I'm posting below in the description of the video the link of my complete unrolled threads. Over 100 Twitter threads. That's like my body of QAnon work, so to speak. Also listed below is how to write a QAnon thread. You may want to check that out. You know, Q did. That was the day Q used my graphics. Thanks for watching. You're welcome to subscribe to this channel and also follow me on Twitter as I try to bring you the best of QAnon content.
Awesome video. Very well stated. Yes, Q watches you, my friend. Q watches you.
Yeah, but you know what's the fun part of this video? This was probably my first video with my voice on. So I was so insecure that I put subtitles on everything. I said, nobody's going to understand a word I say. Terrible patois. And since then, I had the opportunity to go with Conscience Abe on the Soapbox channel.
Yes.
Quite a few times. And to my agreeable surprise, almost everyone understands what I'm saying. And they're very kind to my accent. This is a wonderful thing about the Q folks out there. Nobody has ever said a bad thing about me being Brazilian, except for me. I always, trashing Brazil. That's one thing we do. We trash Brazil all the time. So no one else can because we are doing all the work for them. But nobody had a bad word about nobody in the movement. Only 3 times people from outside say, hey, you can't talk about that. You're not American. I was like, oh, I can't, but I will. I'm sorry.
We've got a lot of comments out there. Love your accent. Worldwide, 5'5", Paul. You got a lot of great things. It's good to be Brazilian. A lot of great comments out there. And you were saying that the Iranians are including us in tweets and stuff like that. I'm hoping to get the actual restart leader on the show too. He doesn't speak English, but he might be preparing something, so stay tuned for that. There are 69 Q posts with Iran. Also, Paul, on intheMatrixxx with 3x's.com, we've got 126 countries that have visited our site.
Wow. It's very nice.
Yeah,
it's really cool to see people that send. People sending us emails from around the world who support everything that's going on here. And early on in the Q drops, he showed us the list of banks. He showed us that they control everyone. This system of interest inferred debt is enslaving the world, and we all know that, and we all as humanity have to wake up to that. That's the only way to freedom. And it's really amazing voices like yours, Paul, all around the world they're lending a hand to this effort. So by no means do we judge you for where you come from. We like the fact that you want to red pill people, and you know what is going on, and you're willing to stand up for the truth and for freedom.
Thank you so much. If you were to if you were to take a look at Brazilian media and how they are treating the President Bolsonaro, you would laugh like mad, because it's the very same playbook, the very same ad hominem attacks, the very same agenda they're pushing: transgenderism, socialism, open borders, every single thing. Our local Mockingbird media, it's exactly the way they do it in the States. And we are fighting the very same enemy. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Absolutely. I'm just kind of going through your website. It's very well done, Paul. Great job. Also, let's see. Do you want to go ahead and take us through a thread or anything like that, Paul?
I would just say a few things about the new thread, if you allow me.
Sure, absolutely. Let me go ahead and put a pic up, and then we'll do the exchange. 1 second. Let me just find a good image here. Hang on. Matrixxx Grooove, our image will work. And let me take Windows Capture off. And let me go to Zoom, and I'm going to stop share, and you can go ahead and share, Paul.
Okay.
Okay,
So
there we go. And let me go ahead and bring this up on so everybody can see. All right, we got to
can
go
you
to
see it now?
Zoom. Here we go. There you go. I think everybody can see you right now. There you go, Paul.
So this is the new thread, and it's about the Nexium trial. And the first thing I learned was how to say Nexium, because I always saw that as a letter soup, this name. But once I knew that it was called Nexium, I was able to write it properly, because there's so much consonants and not many vowels. But this is ever since the beginning of May, I had been researching that, and I was actually not going to write about it until Alison Mack was going to testify, because she's the focus of all the Q drops they have been posted about this subject. Mac is naming names in Hollywood and government. She's bringing proof. And then it ties to the Standard Hotel, the helicopter crash that killed the manager. Anyway, all those sex crime scandals. We have also the fact that Alison Mack singing to the police led to the resignation of New York AG Schneiderman, etc. But the thing is, while I was waiting for the Alison Mack testimony, the trial began to get so dramatic that I could not stop. So I wrote this as a first introduction thread, and when she does testify, I will return to it. It's really crazy. I don't know how much you guys know about that, but it's so embedded in everything we are fighting against. There is sex trafficking, there is pedophilia, there is crimes against children of other varieties, there is document servitude. I actually have the list of the indictments. So it's identity theft, altering records, money laundering, trafficking in document servitude, state law extortion, visa fraud, sex trafficking, forced labor, sexual exploitation of a child, and possession of child pornography. What they are not uh, judging him is pedophilia, because it would be difficult to prove, so they sort of left it out. But those charges can mean that Keith Raniere, that's the cult leader, may spend the remaining of his life in jail. So this is the photo that when I write my threads, I am actually sometimes not writing, I'm designing it, in the sense that I try to pay as much attention to the visuals as I do to the text, and that's because we have become people. We are flooded with information.
Yes.
It's a overload of information. So I try to have the visuals be strong and appealing, so I can get the attention of people for 20 minutes, half an hour, 15 minutes, the time that it takes to write a full story. So the first thing I did on this thread was look at the photo of this monster, and then I came up with this. I'm always putting everyone on fire. I like to do that. I think that people get very happy when they see like Justin Trudeau on fire. People go, wow, that's great. So I like to do that. So let me go back to the thread here. So
do you do your own graphics, Paul? I mean, that is very good, by the way.
Yeah, yes. I was
really good.
Thank you very much. I was playing, it's on Ribbit.com. Okay, it's not, everyone can do better than me if they just spend a few hours learning the platform. It's great. Actually, the platform now and I are beginning a working relationship. I'm gonna try to have them be more. They usually go for a younger audience than us, but I'm trying to help them to upgrade to the storm. But what I was going to say is, it's terrible because you get these photos here. Those women are the first line slaves of DOS. That's the inner secret society inside Nexium. All those guys you are seeing are slaves to Keith Raniere. They're slaves. They are iron branded like cattle. And each one of those women, they have slaves of their own. So it's like a pyramid of slavery. And when we say slaves, they can't disobey him if they have readiness drills. So if you send a text to any of those women, they have to respond to him in 30 seconds. Otherwise, it's an infraction. So when we say slavery, we are not joking about it. It's real slavery. Every one of those women had sex with him, and they had to get their own slaves also to have sex with him. And during my research, I was actually quite surprised to learn that this guy who has 40 lover / slaves, the guy has 40 lovers, and he has a serious problem of erectile dysfunction. So it's like he can't perform unless there's 5 girls doing a blowjob on him.
Oh
it's
my gosh.
it's really, yeah, it's really sick. So here we have a brand. So it's really bad. And you know what he did? He recorded each one of his slaves asking to be branded. They would be recorded saying, "I want to be branded. I'd be honored to." Now, how sick is that?
That's so he can say, "Hey, you asked for it. You did it on your own will, right?"
Yeah, and this is his defense lawyer. He's one hell of a defense lawyer, and I actually like to do that. This is an old Thomas Victor trick that I like to go on side stories to exemplify. It's like a little parable. Mm-hmm. So I was talking about Dershowitz. There is a movie based on a book that he wrote when he was defending Klaus von Bülow, this guy, a millionaire that everyone knew that he had killed his wife. So Dershowitz goes to defend him, and the movie is about that. There's this joke here. Alan Dershowitz said to his son, "Reminds me of my Hitler dream. Hitler calls up, he's alive, he needs a lawyer. I say, sure, come on over. And then I have to decide, do I take Hitler's case or do I kill him?" And the son said, no question, Alan, I would take the case. And then they both say, and then kill him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then there's here a scene, I don't know if it's like a 2-minute scene about if everyone gets a defense or not. And I do believe that the right to defense is a cornerstone of democracy. So even for the monsters,
yes,
perhaps even more for the monsters, because it has to go for everyone.
And I also believe too that remember when Weinstein was put in, they took out one of the AGs, the New York AGs, and I think they had to do this in order to have this trial actually be somewhat quote unquote fair, right? Because otherwise they probably would have just gotten off of it.
Yeah. And they had to get rid of the people up top in the DOJ and FBI as well. This stuff would have never no one would have ever approved of this before.
Yes, I agree. And the crazy thing, we talked very briefly about the Epstein thread that I wrote like 2 months ago. And in the Epstein thread, things in Palm Beach were so easy for him that at first his lawyer was cutting a deal that he wouldn't have to do any jail time. But then he got another wiser lawyer that said, no, don't be stupid. You have to be convicted now, but be convicted in a bullshit way so that you can't be prosecuted again. That's double jeopardy, right? So the bad lawyer wanted him to go unscathed. But the good lawyer, the good defense lawyer said, no, you have to be you have to be found guilty, but you have to be found guilty of bullshit charges. Then what happened is he did 18 months, and he can never be tried again for the same crimes. So I guess the same thing happens here. They couldn't give him too much of a good way. This is Judge Galralfis. We are coming back now to the NXIVM trial. And during the cross-examination, this is important. All the co-defendants have flipped on Raniere and now cooperating witnesses for the prosecution. Here I switched the names of Nancy and Lauren Salzman. This is Nancy and this is Lauren. I spent all the thread calling her by the wrong name. It's pretty embarrassing.
Uh-oh.
So this is it. And this was a thread that was very well received. I'm very happy about it. Not every thread I write gets as well received, because sometimes I write threads that I feel are going to be very important to people, but sometimes I also have to write things that I feel are important, even if people are not going to be as moved. My example is, before I wrote this next one, the previous one was about Venezuela. You know, I write about Venezuela a lot, and I'm very tough on people because I think people don't give it the importance that it has. All the problems that you are having in your southern border, they have to do with Venezuela as well, with Cuba as well. So it's like, it's not just putting the wall. You have to put the wall. You have to stabilize the situation in Central South America. Otherwise, it's going to be an ongoing hell. No doubt about it. So that was my next thread. Thank you for the opportunity of showing it.
Yes, very good. And one thing that I've noticed is that the Bronfman, right? So she is actually of the Illuminati bloodline. They were in this, they're obviously on the Illuminati bloodline book that's on the CIA website, and the Bronfmans used to run the drugs for the Oppenheimers and the Vanderbilts back in the day, and they also run Canada. That's why you see Mr. Bronfman hanging out with Trudeau. So I did a little bit of my own NXIVM thread as well, kind of covering the bloodlines involvement. So what I think is really huge is, Q's earlier posts were talking about follow the bloodline, map the bloodline, follow the wives, right? So what we're seeing, in my opinion, is, in unveiling sort of a D-class of the actual controllers that are controlling, our everything, our country, our everything.
Yeah, the media and the CIA and all the politicians and the bureaucracy and everything.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking muted, but I agree. In this thread of mine, I tried to avoid going out, emanating outwards. Everyone was like, oh, but how about Senator Gillibrand? Or how about Justin Trudeau? How about the Emiliano Salinas in Mexico? Everyone has got their own thing they want to emphasize.
Yeah.
But it doesn't fit in one thread, right? If I had all the court transcripts from this case, I think I could have written a book.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and same thing with some of the digs that we've done, right? Our threads could go on for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of threads, for sure, Paul, for sure.
And it's interesting too what Twitter is doing to kind of mess them up and shift them and not let the posts go in line right. I mean, it definitely, it definitely causes people to get off track sometimes. It's really a testament to how great the work is. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah. What I would say is, of course, I don't mean to teach people in Twitter how to do their own business. They're the leaders for a reason, but they don't seem to realize that they are actually shooting their own foot. Everyone, every single time they try to censor us, people around us shout and scream, and next thing you know, the person who was being censored has twice the followers. The great example for me would be the Unplanned movie. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Unplanned movie, they
Yep.
did a Twitter profile. The
Yep.
Twitter profile had 8,000 followers. So Twitter said, no, 8,000 is too much. So they started messing with the profile. Next thing you know, they have 300,000 followers or 200,000 followers. So I'm always hoping that happens to me.
Right.
That they attack me and then I get real big.
Well,
But they don't.
And well, that's kind of what happened to me as well. Tom Arnold tweeted to Roseanne that I was Q, and two other people. It was very funny. And the attacks do kind of bring, I guess, people want to look at you, you know what I mean? And then people will use their own discernment is what I'm hoping. Right now too, remember we were talking about your thread in regards to, Epstein Island, the Broward deputy, and this is, I guess, Parkland, right? The Broward deputy was arrested on multiple felony and misdemeanor charges. This is that Peterson guy.
Yeah.
Scott Peterson, 7 counts of neglect of child, 3 counts of culpable negligence, 1 count of perjury. The wheels of justice turn slow, but they turn, and that's from at Flip It Red 2020. We both retweeted that, Paul. So that was a very good article.
She's swampy, is she not?
Swampy's friend.
Oh my God, I doxed her.
Swampy's friend. So if we look at Parkland too, that's one of the reasons why I think I did a Parkland thread and showed all the multiple shooters and all of that. But basically, if you're looking at Parkland is a distraction. Parkland was specifically organized and designed to distract, test, watch the news. Actors are acting, fake, no power. Justice will be served to those playing the game. And in Killbox, all guns are safe. Trust the plan. Q.
Yes. And many patriots, they fall into the trap of discussing every new distraction. What I try to tell the people is you can't do that, because otherwise you are giving them the power to decide what we will discuss. Of course, you want to protect your Second Amendment, right? So I'm not against that, but it's like Congressman Omar and Congressman AOC, like Cortez.
Yeah.
They stopped a little bit, but they were like every other post in my feed was about them. I had to write, hey, come on, don't let them live rent-free in your mind, because that's what they will be winning if you do that. Because how much time can you spend trashing someone until you're actually the great publicizer of these people, publicist?
Well, it's been since December for me, Paul.
Ever since we decided to go on YouTube, wasn't it, Matrixx?
Yes. Yeah. And it's nonstop. It's absolutely funny. I mean, it's becoming laughable. I mean, it's a badge of honor, as Q says, right, to be attacked.
Of course. And as I said before the program began, I am now still for 8 hours restricted. I can't post, comment, like, or retweet, because I was, my way. I'm very tough at people that attacks us. So I was really, really gross to someone on their feed. So somebody reported me, and I'm on the hook for a little bit. Oh,
Yeah.
this is the ribbit.
Yeah, I wanted to show you because you were letting people know what you use for your graphics. And hey, we're here to help people, get the tools. We need more Paul Sarans out there. We need more Matrixx's, Shadies. We need more you guys out there. And that's excellent. I'm going to check that out because I really am impressed with your graphics.
Yeah,
Paul, thank you for that.
I'd just like to say that not every single graphic is done by me. Like the main graphic about the queue with the drop in the ocean, that's my friend Julio Gagliardi. He's on Twitter now, and he's an art director. So whenever there's something this is done by me. I just farm image out on the web, and I do montages and I put effects stuff. This is actually becoming a great part of my storytelling technique, because if you see all the images in the same thread, they have more or less the same effects.
Yeah.
And I have some visual things I do for villains, like this one. I have some, this is a very exaggerated.
Very nice.
I like to use also silhouettes. Sometimes you don't have photo. Like in this case, we didn't have any photos from the courthouse, so we had to use court sketches, and I complemented it with silhouettes. I love silhouettes. It's a very oniric way to communicate. But what I was saying is, everyone can do the things that I do as a graphist, and I developed that in my time when I had a band. So every photo we took of the band, we didn't want a cell phone photo of the band, so we put 49 effects on it to pretend that the band was really cool.
Right.
So I'm just going on with that. You see, you have the same graphic that I showed before. I just highlighted Lawrence Salzman, and then on the next thread, there I am calling her Nancy.
That's awesome.
People are so nice. People are so nice to me. Nobody gave me no shit because of that. People are really nice because it's a well-told story. I'm just crazy and change people's names.
Yeah, no, you did a great job on these threads and all your threads. And I know you did a little bit of looking up at, some of your, some of the views that you had.
Oh, yes.
Let me see if I can find that. Here it is right here.
Yeah, that it is.
If you want to kind of just go through that, because this is the kind of censorship we're looking at, right?
Exactly.
I would love to. The thing is, every now and then somebody tells me, impressions and statistics don't mean a thing. I go like, you're crazy. Of course they do mean a lot. It's the Nielsen ratings for us, right? How do we know if something is working or not?
Right.
That's the way. So this one, I had 1.8 impressions in 2 days, less than 2 days. But the good thing is, yesterday I had more than 1 million impressions in 1 day. That is actually quite rare. It only happens 13 times since December, since I started. They really have this algorithm thing that when it comes to 900, they really squash me down. So I rarely go over 1 million. Just when I really write something that people actually take to. So 32,000 likes and 11,000 retweets. It's quite big for me.
That's huge.
That's when I feel that I'm one of the players around. I feel like I'm an evil playing field with all the other writers. Because if I go just do small posts, like take a news piece and do a little spin on it, I don't get many views or interactions.
Yeah.
Only when sorry.
I wanted to agree, and I'm being held at like 1 million per day. But it's interesting because people aren't finding my tweets. They don't, and sometimes there's no retweet button. There's, nothing below it. You can't like it. You can't comment. You can't do anything. Comments are taken out. But I've had so far, what is it? The the 5th of June, I've had 20,000 people come to my profile because they can't see my thing. So people are, going right to the profiles too, because I also do believe that these numbers that we're showing, that you're showing here, are also subdued to keep you to make it think like, well, we're really not missing any. We're not really getting anybody. We're not hitting the number. Nobody's
or to make it to make us
stuff,
think we're
right?
not growing, right? Yeah.
To make us, get discouraged. So, and I believe, Paul, if you have, 32,000 followers, I bet you have 132,000 followers. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, of course. And what happens to me is that, okay, so if you see April last year, 2018, I started to think that I was going to get real big because I had this cluster of days with over 1 million impressions. Mm-hmm. And I was really, this is when I wrote my Who's Q thread, and I really started to show my face. But then you see on May and June, I started to up until April of 2018, I wasn't being squashed. Nobody knew I existed. I was like flying under radar. But then on, you see that I can't cross the million line anymore. And then June, July, August, September, all under 1 million. Then October and November, my mom passed away, so I didn't write. I came back in December, and then the miracle started. That on my Uber thread, I got queued, and then I got like 5 million in 2 days. It was that was good. And from then on, I can eventually cross over the million lines. My Alice in the Bloody Wonderland was also well received. Rogers were very well received. If I could, I would only write this kind of threads. Rogers, like Flynn, Bill Barr, a 4-part biography of POTUS. If I could, I would only write that. But also there are the distressing ones like Alice or the Nexium or the Epstein and many others. People like those too.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you being followed by General Flynn?
Yes.
Excellent.
That was such a thrill.
Isn't that amazing?
It's an amazing moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I was last April for me, and I don't know if you said thank you, General Flynn, but he does sometimes answer.
Oh God, I did not. I feel like sometimes I see friends of ours commenting on the POTUS posts, like, "Hey, Mr. President, blah, blah, blah." I was like, nobody read. He's not going to read, It's like, why do you do that? Pretend that you're going to have a conversation with the president. I find it, but when it comes to General Flynn, you're right. I could have done that. It would have been so great.
Go ahead and do that today when you can. I know you can send DMs now. Go ahead and say, General Flynn, forgot to thank you, but very honored for the follow. See if he comes back at you. I'd love to see.
Yeah, that would be so great.
Yeah, we had Joe Flynn, not last Monday, but the Monday before. Joe Flynn was on the show. Very amazing guest as well. So just what a great family and what they've been through. And there is new information coming up on General Flynn. We'll cover a little bit of that tomorrow. But Paul, I know you have a limited stop. It is 2:02 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if you have to get going. If you do, just let us know. If you have a couple more minutes, great. But let us know what you want to do. Otherwise, final thoughts.
We could do 10 more minutes. Then I have to go just because this is my day with my son, and I really treasure that.
Yes.
I start getting nervous.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come with us, and I hope that you will join us more often. I really enjoyed speaking with you and being here. So, man, this is just really, I think, what Q wants us to all be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And it will never happen that you will invite me and I won't be coming. I'll always be coming. It's a great pleasure. I admire both of you, and you got a real good channel going. You got really great followers. So it's a big pleasure for me.
Oh, Paul, thank you. And I'd love to have you on more often. Come on and do a thread. We are thinking about, possibly, expanding this channel as well. Not 24/7 or anything like that, but if you'd be interested in something like that, we'll talk later. But we need to deliver the content to the people and get it out there. So, even if it's just like, hey, a weekly guest, come on. But I would definitely like to include you more often, sir.
I would really like that. That would be great.
Awesome. And guys, let me just let you know that Paul Ceran is on Twitter. Make sure you get over there and follow him. It's Paul_SERRAN. He's an amazing Patriot. He is from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He does have a YouTube station right there. It's All Things Q. He also has a website. The mods will go ahead and drop that in as well. I also want to let you know that Paul Ceran does have a Patreon as well. In order for him to continue doing this fine work and take care of his child that he loves so dearly, and I can definitely understand that, he is committing a lot of time to this effort, and if you want to go ahead and buy Paul a cup of coffee every month, go ahead and get over to his Patreon right there and buy him a cup of coffee every month for his work. I mean, that's the least that we can do. Paul, great job, sir, and much appreciated. I'd love to play your Air Q concept video. Do you want to give us a lead into this video?
Yes, of course. This was done it was directed by me and Julio Gagliardi. That's Gagliardi Julio in Twitter, and he's actually godfather to my son. He's a childhood friend of mine. He's a great artist, art director, and animator. So it's really his major capability, and all I did was write. And the one thing that I find funny, you will notice that all the cartoon characters, they have text-to-speech voices. That's really crazy because we here in Rio, we don't have that much voice talent in English.
Right.
We don't have a lot of people that have great. Everyone in Rio of my friends, they can speak good English, but not with a clean accent that could do James Woods or imitate Acosta.
What about like Bill Clinton? Do you guys need a bill?
Yeah, when we do,
I knew Bill might be here all of a sudden.
When we do, I'm sure to ask you, please.
Excellent.
So, once again, thank you. As you play the video, I'll be signing out. And once again, whenever you want me to be here, you just got to say the word.
Yes, Paul, thank you. God bless you. Thank you for coming. You've got a lot of fans out here in the YouTube chat. Paul, thank you. We're going to go ahead and go right into your air queue. We'll talk real soon, sir. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Paul. Great having you.
Thank you, Shady. Thank you, Matrixxx.
Thank you. All right, well, here is Air Q.
Air Q.
You guys know what this represents? Well, I'm ready to come before the storm.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Dear Diary, QAnon is alarmed.
He was just made by artists.
I'm reserving my thoughts about Q. Let's see which way the wind blows.
We have an army of digital soldiers. Because this was an insurgency, folks. This was run like an insurgency. This was irregular warfare at its finest.
Q is legit. Don't trust the media. Q is a scion from deep state.
TikTok.
Grooove
this represents? Well, maybe you can come because
So there you have it. All things Q from Paul Ceran. What a great video, Shady. What do you think of that one?
Man, I think that it's just, I mean, the talent and the inspiration coming to this movement is remarkable, Matrixxx. It just really is. It's every day. It doesn't stop surprising me how much inspiration is really involved in this. And I think that's the fabric of our success in this movement, my friend. I think the inspiration for people to see hope, for people to see a better world, and for people to know they can build one for their families and their future is magic, dude. And it's happening around us every day with this president.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, such talent Paul Ceran has. And
to support him, yeah.
From the Matrixxx Groove Hour. How about that, guys?
5-5. Something special.
That's where we're going to leave them, guys. Get over there and like that comment for us. Such talent from the Matrixxx Groove Hour right there. Get over there and check it out. That's from all of us to Paul Ceran. What a great hero he is. Right now we've got Patriola. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, guys. How did you like that show? We're trying to bring unity. We're trying to bring other Patriots in. I think that's what scares a lot of people, Shady, that we're actually, you know, lining people up and getting people organized, because we're stronger when we're united.
Yes, that is what scares the cabal, and that is also what scares other assets or bureaucracy or whatever you want to call it. We just don't know where they all are. The swamp is everywhere. Q says swamp is everywhere, and we can tell who's on the wall, and supporting each other on this wall is our job in Matrixxx. And I really appreciate your foresight to understand what we all needed to be doing here every day to show the world that Q is here to bring about real, true freedom.
That's right. And I wanted to cover one more thing, Shady, before we get going.
What do you got?
We've got, we talked about Robert Kennedy.
Anniversary, right?
It's on this day, June 5th, 1968, presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy was mortally wounded shortly after midnight at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. Earlier that evening, the 42-year-old junior senator from New York was declared the winner in South Dakota and California presidential primaries in the 1968 election. Rest in peace, Robert F. Kennedy. So I wanted to do that. And I also wanted to basically, where are we? Let me go back down, because we had Based Amy here. I just want to play a little bit of this. Check this out, guys.
An anon success story.
An anon success story. Check it out.
Well, Based Amy in central London. I'm a bit wet. I'm actually, I've been undercover. I'm a bit bedraggled. Do you know what? I swear to God. G'day, Aussie Nick. It's, I'm so glad the heavens have opened. I can't remember the name of that woman politician who was embarrassing. Did you see this?
Balloon's not as big as it looks as they show it, is it, Shady?
Really doesn't look that big, Matrixxx.
I'm gonna get that bloody thing.
Go Based Amy.
Get in there.
And this, by the way, was her birthday as well.
I'm gonna. Oh yeah, that would do it, wouldn't it?
This one.
I'm gonna do it. Wait. I need to get something. Damn it. Right, so we're. Oh, thanks. Oh, I dropped everything now. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm trying to find.
Can we hold a stick?
Yeah, could you hold?
Joint on that.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, guys. I can't find my scissors.
Your scissors? Oh. Okay, because you might get them together.
Oh, what about a lighter?
Huh? The thing is, this is love.
Look, guys. Okay, listen. You know, I could get arrested for this. For what do you reckon? Give me a 1 if you want to do it on my birthday.
Give me a 1.
Sorry, I haven't got.
Amy Scissorhands, somebody said. Amy Scissorhands.
Amy Scissorhands.
I'm going in for it. I'm gonna pop the bloody thing. I'm going.
Here, look at this. Here it is. Boom!
Did it. That's a disgrace. It's a national disgrace. The President of the United States is the best president ever. Shame on you. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Done it, guys. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, no more baby.
I'm bleeding now. I'm in a mind.
All right, so she's gonna go. I'm gonna go up here a little bit.
Wait, be careful. Could you be careful, please?
This is what happens.
I'm gonna cooperate. I'm gonna cooperate. I hurt myself. I fell over. On my. No, be careful. Be careful. I'm not dangerous. Look at the police. The police are coming after me. Stop it. If you break my phone, what's your number? CE1277. I'm going to sue you.
Stop resisting.
Listen, wait. I need something.
She's not resisting.
I'm not resisting.
You are resisting.
I'm standing still.
Stop tensing up.
I'm standing still.
Stop
well, I'm only tensing because I've just been assaulted by a policeman.
All right.
I'm relaxed.
Relax your arm.
I'm trying not to drop my phone.
Relax your arm.
It's relaxed. Ow! Stop. Hey, America, help me. These people are assaulting me.
I just want to get a couple.
Ow!
Relax your arm.
It's relaxed.
Calm down.
It's relaxed. It's very relaxed. It is so relaxed. Ow! Ow! You bastard! Get off me! Look at my phone. You injured me. Stop it.
I mean,
I got a stick with this ball.
amazing. So happy birthday, Based Amy. I do want to let you guys know that she was held for quite a long time, but she was released. No charges. No charges.
That is some amazing video footage right there she did.
It is. And then she made Fox News. Look how huge they make that balloon look. Whoa, look how huge it is. It's small. And Based Amy took it out. Trump supporter pops massive balloon depicting POTUS as a baby at UK protests.
Massive balloon that lays on a 10-foot tarp.
Yeah. A massive balloon depicting President Trump as a baby in London Tuesday, berating protests and disrespecting the best president ever. God bless you, Based Amy. That is a disgrace, she was told by bystanders in a video posted by the Sun newspaper. The President of the United States is the best president ever. It is unclear as what she used to deflate the balloon, but she prompted to yell that in response, basically. I think Donald Trump's balloon is not very well, she said, as she walked away from the scene, hoping he's going down rapidly for a reason. During the video, an officer appeared to confront her, prompting to declare the police are coming after me. She also did claim that she had a bloody hand. We saw that on the video. In fact, the mods dropped the video. I did kind of skip ahead of it, but she did kind of hurt herself pretty good, a lot of blood. And she attempted to burst the baby balloon. She was successful. And the video ended with the woman yelling and accusing the officers of injuring her, which obviously, to me, is what happened. The balloon became a symbol of the London protesters' disdain for the president as he visited British leaders on Tuesday. The group that carried the balloon reportedly attributed the woman's action to her far-right inclinations. A woman punctured the mini Trump baby replica with a sharp object, a group spokesman said, according to The Independent. It's not surprising that the far right would want to meet freedom of expression with violence. Oh my God. The incident was just the latest indication that tensions were rising to a politically dangerous level in the British capital. Now, one Trump supporter was shouted down as Nazi scum, of course, and had milkshake thrown on him. Now, look, guys, the Democrats, we need a history lesson. Who invented the racism and all this crap? It was the Democrats, guys. And
well, yeah, but also we got to understand that the European media is very, very liberal leaning. Like there's no one representing something that would be considered libertarian or
That's right.
conservative, like anything like that is pretty much scrubbed from their reality there. They don't have Fox News there. So they don't have any indication whatsoever that the president isn't a racist, isn't a misogynist, every ist that you can imagine. So really it is separating the people who are paying attention to every day what's going on in the news, who are informed, from the people who are chanting the repeater mechanism that don't really pay attention. They just trust other people to tell them things. And there was a lot more support there for our president than there was protest against him. Tremendous amount of support there, Matrixxx. So,
right. And if you saw that body language expert when he spoke with Theresa May, he did admit, or he did say, I only saw one tiny group of protesters, and this is probably it. There's much more support for Trump than there is non-support. I don't know if you saw Body Language Ghost yet on the body language of those two, but I highly recommend watching that. There's definitely some tensions between the two. Trump wasn't happy with some of the answers and some of the things said. Then they proceeded to take some questions from the media, and also to Shady's point just a second ago, basically all they got over there is CNN. They don't have a lot of other than liberal media, right?
Right, definitely nothing libertarian. Nothing that says government shouldn't be, the handout machine, right? So it's kind of like socialism and the monarchy go hand in hand.
Right, absolutely. And I want to go ahead and just, Body Language Ghost.
Yeah, I think it would be good to drop this for other people to see.
Yeah, it's very good. I watched it last night. Let's go there and look. Here it is. This is let's just take a quick look at it. I don't want to play the whole thing.
Interesting Minds.
I kind of want to go to here.
He's thinking. And then you see him do a little bit of a brain search. But he doesn't give a positive head shake nor a negative head shake. To me, it would go, you don't see negative or positive. So it would say, depending on what those threats are.
And we also spoke about China, recognizing its economic significance, and that we cannot ignore
She does a phenomenal job. Now, I don't want to play this whole video for the Body Language Ghost because, this is her video, but definitely watch Body Language, Trump and May, UK state visit. Highly, highly recommend it.
Very, very skilled understanding of what's really going on. You slow this stuff down. You get the intricacies of who your president really is. It's very obvious.
Absolutely. I mean, he's
one of us.
He is. He's one of us, and it seems like he's got things under control, guys. And with that, because we had Paul Saran today, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here soon. This is the intheMatrixxx Patreon. I dropped Paul's earlier. If you guys want to buy Patriots a cup of coffee every month, go to patreon.com/intheMatrixxx. Here is Paul Saran's right here if you want to buy him a cup of coffee, right there. So please, support is needed and necessary to continue what we're doing and continue the amazing job. Paul, thank you so much today. We've also got a PayPal. I don't think Paul has one yet. I tried to see if he had one. I didn't see one, but there is my PayPal as well. Should you guys want to donate. Again, we've got intheMatrixxx.com for you. We've got the Q Army Social Network. We've got Q Posts. And Shady, I think we're going to be coming back a little bit more tomorrow with some more news. It is Wednesday today. Tomorrow's Thursday. Very special guest. Very worth it. And guys, I think we reached the phone call. Shady.
Man, I really enjoyed that. I really, really, really enjoyed speaking with Paul and having him share his voice with you guys, much like all the other voices that are joining us here. Please, this is the movement. This is the time to be alive, and we are all the ones we were waiting for worldwide. Do not hesitate to start coming to this conversation. Matrixxx, thank you. Thanks all the moderators out there. Thanks for all the Patreon support, all of the love worldwide. This is a movement for humanity's sake, and we are going to win this. We get this man elected in 2020, and let me tell you, we are rolling. And with that, Matrixxx, I got to squeeze down.
Let's do it.
Get tiny and get out of here. I know we got to go again, and I know they don't like to see us go, but we will be back tomorrow right here. Same bad time, same bad channel. Thanks so much.
Right on. This is the Matrixxx Groove Hour. Again, another one in the books. Another great show, Shady. Thank you very much for all of what you do. Make sure you catch that last Q Lounge live. It was amazing. A lot of great feedback on that. Check it out. intheMatrixxx.com. All with 3 X's, at Shady Groove with 3 O's, at intheMatrixxx with 3 X's on Twitter. Also, guys, please get over there, support Paul. So we are winning, guys, bigly. You're winning. Keep it up, Anons, Patriots. Much, much love. intheMatrixxx.com. Thank you. YouTube.com/C/intheMatrixxx with 3 X's is how you get to us directly. 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. Much, much love, Patriots. Catch you later. Peace.